All right, so we're going to get now into our second segment.
UNESCO World Heritage Sites that combine cultural richness, immersive experience, and practical accessibility.
Let's go. Let's go. All right, I'm gonna pick the first one because this is a place I always wanted to go, but you never wanted to go.
Before we get started, I just would like to say,
there comes a New Yorker.
For like ever, I've been wanting to go here. This is the comment. Let me just wait before I'm not even gonna read anymore. I just would like to say this. This is like a thing that goes on between my husband and I. I'll say, "Hey, babe, I really want to go here," and he's like, "Oh, I will never go there." And then like a month later, he's like, "Babe, my coworker just came back from the place you just mentioned, and now I want to go." So it's never that I want to go. It's always because he met somebody or knows somebody that had just recently had gone there, and then all of a sudden it became his idea.
Well, it's, I need some time to get used to some ideas. But
so
anyway.
This is one of those places. I have been wanting to go to Petra in Jordan forever. And people, I guess was a good way to say it, they know it from Indiana Jones.
Yes, Last Crusade, baby.
So that's where it's the most famous from. Mm-hmm. But before then, I've always wanted to go. I love, just think it's actually so stunning.
It's stunning. I mean, you're talking about, these things carved into mountains. I do have beautiful B-roll, so I hope you guys are looking.
He's probably going to put in Indiana Jones.
No, because I get sued. So I don't want us to get sued. But yeah, it's Petra's. I think something that I think everybody should. You talked me into it, babe. I think it is gorgeous. I am an Indiana Jones fan, so I think it's pretty much iconic red city that's carved in cliffs. If you could think about that.
So they do say to get there early, but I think that for all everywhere you go when you travel because of tourists. And now they are doing the candlelight tour. They're even doing music outside there as well, so it's supposed to be very beautiful. So that would one of our tips is also the combine it with Wandy rum dessert and Dead Sea itinerary, and I think your life could end right there because it's so amazing. No pun intended. No, like Dead Sea. Oh, get it. Okay, got it. Yeah, I didn't catch that. Okay, so Petra, definitely in Jordan. Yeah, that's our first pick there for top UNESCO sites to visit in 2025. You visit this one. Yes, Machu Picchu. I will say this, Machu Picchu is phenomenal. It is breathtaking. It is a place where everyone should see once in their life because two reasons. One, the geography is amazing, and I literally was on top of clouds that were raining. And I was above the clouds when it was raining. So I wasn't getting wet, but everybody underneath was getting wet. That's how high we were. And then just the ingenuity of, the Incas that were there, it just blew my mind. I mean, how they carved out those circles exactly where the sun is and where the moon is and everything. It was just phenomenal. Fun fact that Machu Picchu was created by women. Yeah, they had a big, strong women, and then also their farming as well is one of the big takeaways because they knew based on elevation and temperature, they knew how to farm, which was pretty amazing. The Inca Citadel, it's perched on the Andes, is one of the 7 wonders of the world. So that's something you definitely have to see. I didn't know you needed permits to go there, but this would make great sense. So, yeah, but permits months in advance, it says. Yeah. And then you could there is a bus that goes, but there is that Inca trail that you... And a train too. It takes you from Cusco to Machu Picchu. Which is what you did. I did the train. But you could do the Inca trail, and they have an overnight, and they even have, I think it's a couple of days long, that you can do the trail, and then you go all the way up by foot. Which we'll break down in our next segment. Very cool. Yeah. So, and you have to usually add like a little bit trip, your expedition, whatever you decide to do, because... The elevation gets you have to get used to the elevation in Cusco. They usually give you coca leaves tea, so you could it helps kind of smooth the nausea, altitude sickness. So the next one, babe, you wanna try to pronounce that one? Angkor, Cambodia. That's pretty good. Yes, I know because I've always wanted to go there. Wow. Yeah, largest religious monument on Earth. Yeah. It sure is. That's pretty amazing. There's a multi-day pass to explore even beyond the monument. So it says, don't miss the Tamprum, and use a local guide for all the hidden historical gems. When it comes to these places that, like Cambodia or a lot of places in Asia, I'm really big on having tour guides. One, language is a huge thing. You know, it's one thing that I feel like when you go to Europe, a lot of people do speak English, and or Spanish, so it's kind of easy to get around. But when you're in these further places, I do suggest to get a tour guide. Plus, you want to know all the details and all the juicy gossip and all the stuff that you're not able to read, you know? So having that tour guide for me is amazing. So
100%. Yeah, because I think that could be daunting, right? Like when you go to, especially like an Asian country that even like the letters, you don't even understand the symbols. It could be a little daunting. So yeah, definitely agree with that one. The next one is Alhambra, Spain. It's a palace fortress blending Islamic architecture with gardens and fountains. So this is probably up your alley, babe. This is something that you love, that architecture.
Yeah, I love all of that. Yes. Yeah.
So we recommend to stay in Granada's old quarter and visit early in the morning or at night. That's where you're going to see the most beauty out of that, and pair with a trip through Andalusia's white villages. That should be
very
gorgeous.
pretty.
Yeah.
All right. So, you could also, since you're going to be over in Spain, this is another one. If you go to Sintra, Portugal. So it's known for this fairy tale castles and its misty forest that make a must see. They say recommend to visit the Pena Palace and the Quinta. I'm going to butcher this. Go ahead, baby.
La Quinta de Regalia.
Yes. And take the historic train and enjoy the pastel di nata in the town square.
So those are some, I mean, there's a lot more UNESCO sites, but those are some of our top picks there because, you know, it's a little mixture of everything, right? Europe, a little bit of Asia, and then the Middle East. So we thought that was a pretty cool list. What we do recommend is, once you're there, is really get immersive experiences. You know, attend cultural festivals, traditional craft workshops, stay in boutique heritage hotels, you know, for local charm, like really feel, you know, don't stay in a Holiday Inn, you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to do that. And then use audio guides whenever possible. But we do recommend better a local guide because, you know, that's a recording versus a person that could really kind of give you a little bit more information.
Yeah. So these are some planning trips that I do suggest to all of my clients. And it doesn't matter, you know, where you go, always summer, right? Because the kids are off school and things seem to like wind down during that time, even without children, that people in work culture, that's the time that people like to take vacations. So best time to plan travel is off season, and this reduces crowds and obviously the cost. I always say this all the time, and I have tons of family I work with, and they're like, oh, I have to go to Europe during the summer. Why is it so expensive? So just to give you an average cost, going to Europe during the summer, your plane tickets are going to be anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000 round trip. And if you go, let's say in October or let's say February or March, your tickets are going to be $700. So you're talking about half the price. Yeah. And sometimes we've even gotten in October, actually early November, we got round trip tickets from Miami to Venice for $400. Yeah. So those off seasons, I do suggest. And then I hear all the time, oh, but my kids have school and what have you. Yes, I mean, if you're not making this a habit, but I think it's important that you do take the kids out of school during school time. They need some time to regroup, and it's kind of nice to go when it's last
and also too, like think about like Thanksgiving weekend, right? Remember, that's not a holiday. It's a holiday for the United States, but nowhere else in the world. So play around with those dates, like before and after that week. So therefore, you can maximize your time. And then the costs are not going to be as expensive as summer. So that's a good spot, I think, for kids and families.
I tell all my clients, and now I have to say kudos. We live in Miami. Miami-Dade Schools now is doing a calendar 2 years out in advance, where before they only do a year out. They're doing 2 years. So I always like to say, look at the calendar, look at the vacation days. And a lot of times in your district, they have like a teacher work day or a teacher planning day, that you're able to play around with the teacher planning day and a holiday. So you're able to use those long weekends. And then if they have a holiday, you can actually go for almost 2 weeks and the kids only miss maybe 4 days of school. So you look at the calendar and maximize the times, and mid travel days, like Tuesdays and Wednesdays, are usually cheaper than flying on the weekend. So those are my hot tips for you guys.
Look at you. I'm telling you, how can you not have this in your life? That's what I'm saying.
This is another one that I always push on, and I always say this. This says to start planning 6 to 9 months in advance. And I always get, but how do I know what I'm doing in 9 months? Well, if you book your travel, you know what you're doing in 9 months. And also, too, it gives you tons of time to really make your trip amazing, right? So I always like to get the hard base down for that travel. This is my dates. These are the hotels. Plug it in. And then you start building your itinerary off of that. When you have that 6 to 9 months, you're able to really do the research, get the dinner reservations. Right now, you have no idea. I'm trying to get my clients into this hot restaurant, and I was able to get other clients in because I was able to book the restaurant out further out in dates versus saying, hey, I want to go to Italy next week, get me here. It doesn't work that way. So, and it saves money. So I push that. I even say a year in advance.
Yeah. The longer the better, and trust me, A, because it's more affordable. B, it's easier to plan. And again, if things change, because the world is could change, and certain areas could be affecting certain things, you have time to fix it. So it's always better to always plan ahead. So I agree.
Yep,
I agree.